welcome. Now today we're gonna do a Commodore 64 video, and yes, it's been absolutely ages since I've done one, since I last did one. And this one in particular has been waiting, or what I'm going to actually cover today, has been waiting for like 3 years, I think 3 years. And I haven't covered it until now. Shame on me. There's another thing that I'm going to show that suits it perfectly that I didn't have back then. PCBWay do custom high-quality PCB boards suitable for any of your personal electronics projects. Whether through-hole, SMD, multi-layered, flexible, or any other requirement you have. They also have a community of enthusiasts from around the world submitting their personal projects, and you can order PCBs related to anything from others in the community. They also have 3D printing and CNC services. I myself am working in a project for a future video, and I'm planning to use their services since I'm impressed with the quality of their PCBs. So today I'm going to build my Ultimate 64 computer, and that is long overdue. yes, shame on me, long overdue. I've had this for ages and it's still in the box. I know. In fact, I got it at the same time. There was 3 of us that ordered it at the same time. 3 circle of friends, Rich and Scott, who is Retrohawk. You know, 3 of us, they're merrily using theirs. There's me with the stupid tape coming off. It's still in the box. But now it's time for mine to shine, and shine it will. Now this one is the Ultimate 64 Elite. I remember Rich and I getting it. I think Scott got the Elite. You'll have to comment, Scott, and tell me which one you got. Now, as much as I love my original Commodore 64 bread bin, and I eventually got the Ultimate 2 Plus for it, I thought to myself that, okay, this is not gonna last forever, right? It's old hardware, it's already done well for 1983 until now. And I'm sure it's got many years ahead, but I want something that's gonna last longer because, you know, I'm always gonna be a kid at heart. This hopefully will last me many years to come. I'm also wanting a solution like this that's an Amiga 1200. Like an Amiga 1200 built with modern components. I know about the Vampire V4. It's a little out of my price range, unfortunately, but a system like this, I know there is one, but I'm constantly waiting for it to kind of, you know, develop and be available. I don't know when that's gonna be. Anyway, so this comes with a user port which you connect via the header here if you need it. I really don't need it right now. I've never used the user port. One thing which Gideon kindly included for me was the Ultimate 64 speaker here. And this is for the disk drive sounds. Either way around, you gotta make sure this is the right way around. I'm not sure if this is the same or not, but the parts that are labeled the same, I'm gonna... Alright, so what case am I gonna put this in? That's the part which I'm glad I waited for this. Today I'm gonna construct a case from Plexilaser. Now, credit where it's due, always. I heard about Plexilaser from Tomaniac. He did one of his tours of some computer festival, and I saw it there, and I just messaged him and asked him. Oh, that's from something else, which is upcoming. I'm not gonna tell you. Although some of you who've already built one or are sharp will already get it. I'm looking at that. Right, so the air vents here on Plexilaser, you've got the option to customize. And initially I was just gonna do Ultimate 64 Elite, but Rich said, come on, you gotta do MsMadLemon. And yeah, I guess in future, right now I just thought, I don't know, you know, I got a little shy. But in future, I think I'm gonna look back at it, and it's gonna remind me of this period of time. One thing that really freaking annoys me, right? Packing peanuts. Why? They're annoying. Shouldn't put any on the Ultimate 64. Everything about them is just messy, you know? I don't like them. And not only that, what's worse than packing peanuts is like when people have shredded stuff, like they've reused their, I mean, I know it's all like recycling, but it's just because you get bits everywhere and it really is annoying. And you can't vacuum them because it gets stuck. As long as I can just see how everything fits, then I don't need to read every single thing in the contents. Basically, God, they talk like me as well. Basically, the protective film on both sides was removed from all plexiglass parts. Let's do that first, right? I no longer do ASMR style content anymore like I used to. If I was doing ASMR, right, this would be perfect. So I'm gonna spare you all this on every single piece. Still crackling in the background, that's annoying me. Right, anyway. So, screw the 5 pieces of 8mm bolts into the bottom plate with reading it probably will help. Screw the 5 pieces of 8mm bolts to the bottom plate with 5 screws, M3 times 5, right? M3 times 5. You better be labeled, dude. You know something? That's one thing, another thing I don't like, right? When DIY, my dad used to always make me help him because no one else was available. Flat pack furniture, I hate it. I really hate it. I know it's easier and all that, but it's just, you get a Torx piece with it. My mind's not for it, I don't think. So this kind of reminds me of that, though it's a bit more exciting at least. Because it's not just making furniture for somebody else's room and you just benefit from nothing after doing all that work. But this is at least exciting. It's not like thankless work. 5 pieces of 8mm bolts. So I'm guessing that it's... get it. Okay, so attach the 50mm bolts to the rear holes using 4 M3s. Which ones are the freaking M3s? It'd be good, Plexilaser, to have an illustration of which bolt is which. Use the square nuts in the slots of the keyboard holder. Okay, let's do that. M3 times 12 screw, which I'm figuring is this. Okay, so what you basically have to do, this is the longest screw that's gonna fit in there, right? There we go. Now you need to get these square nuts, those square ones in that slot. So let me show you. I'm not intending to do a tutorial, by the way. It's not supposed to be a tutorial. I'm just doing it, but just in case anyone else is struggling with this, because the instructions, as I know there's a lot of effort being made to write them, still it's difficult because when you know the actual setup, right, you write it accordingly and you've got it in your mind and it feels like you're writing it clearly, the instructions. But for somebody who doesn't know it, who doesn't know the system and how to do this, it might be a little tricky to understand or grasp the exact meaning of things. Right, so yeah, these are the right screws, the long ones. Torque thing, I know I can't be bothered putting it in a thing. I'll just do it by, like we treat it as a thumb screw, like that. So basically like that. Now then. Okay, so same with the rest of them. Now put the Ultimate 64 board on the short spacers, okay, there. Fix it with 5 screws, M3 times 5 millimeters. Okay. Is it this? I think it's these. These are the ones you're supposed to. Because those are for here. You can see spaces for them here. They go, they go inside the thing there. I still can't find the screw for that. I hope there's a spare one that I can use at the end. Okay, so it's saying Ultimate 64 board. Put it into them with the spacers. Oh, look how beautiful that looks. Oh my god, look at that. It's very slick looking. I like it. Now with regards to the keyboard, I was originally going to do a white keys on this, on the Ultimate. I don't know why the freak that is, all right? It's a white key one. So it's probably somewhere around, I'll swap it later on. So I'm going to do put the black key one instead in here. These keyboard brushes are actually really good. Except the part that keeps like popping off there. Like that. I need to glue that on. Let's put these square nuts in first. It does say with adhesive tape, put some on the side of the nuts to hold them in. And I can totally understand why. I'm gonna try doing it without, and yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be an interesting experience. Am I using the right screws? I can't tell which screws I'm using, which I'm not, because it's really difficult to kind of M3 times 8 screws. If LED lighting is installed, then instead of the screws, the 10mm distance bolts with internal and external thread are used. Is it these? Am I getting, it's this, isn't it? Yeah. That's why it didn't feel right. We'll soon find out if it's right or not. If the top case doesn't go on. There we go. Every one of these has its special place. So. That is really annoying. That's not going fully in. That goes in, it stays in. This one doesn't. Why? Yeah, they clash with the spacers. That's why. That's annoying. Right, okay. Please don't clash with the spacers also. Yes, you do. You clash with these spacers. That is annoying. So next morning here, and it's a wonderful, bright, sunny morning. Right, so with regards to the Ultimate 64, I did manage to sort out the issue of it not closing properly. And that is by doing something that shouldn't have to be done. No, I did not file anything or modify anything because I just didn't feel right doing that. So basically what I did, I took out 2 of the spacers from these 2. These 2 are still intact and that's fine, but these 2 I had to take out. Now these 2 here clearly need spacers underneath, yeah, because you have to unscrew that and push it up to be able to screw this down, right? And there's clearly a gap. So the spacers are, you know, definitely needed. These two spacers are actually too wide. So they get in the way of these panels and they cannot be pushed, you know, they cannot fit in. So, you know, again, if someone from Plexilaser is watching, please make these spacers a bit more narrow. So like more parallel to this width of this actual bolt itself. Okay, so if anyone from Plexilaser is actually watching this, these spacers, if you can just make them a little bit more narrow so that they match the bar itself, the trying to underneath, they won't get in the way of these panels here. So I've got it, it's sturdy, I managed to get a solid thingy, but I've had to kind of, as I said, unscrew that and push it up, and that's the only way to screw these back. Other than that, there's the one I'm not understanding is the keyboard, screwing down the keyboard, because the screws are a bit too long, if you know what I mean. There's no other screws that I can use. The only thing that would fit are these standoffs here, which don't make sense. And also this is probably just in my case, there's a screw missing for this front bit. It doesn't seem like this bit here. I should have put that in, but there's no screw for it. But that's the problem, right? The instructions are all right, but they refer to screws. There's no way to know what screw is what not. You know what I mean? Like usually on flat packs, right? You've got a list of pictorials, the picture of each screw or each part here, and the name next to it. This doesn't have anything like that unless it just wasn't included. You know, on mine it could be possible, but that is needed because most of the time it was, you know, fairly straightforward. It's just that most of the time I was wondering which screw is it, which part is it, do you know what I mean? And you know, there seems to be a couple missing in this, and these two spacers are the wrong. And other than these little niggles, I have to say that I really love this case. It looks absolutely amazing. And when I showed Rich, he was just like, it looks so classy. And yeah, he really likes it. He's looking forward to building his own, because when I ordered one, I ordered one for him also. So yeah, I really like the look of it. So yeah, last night when I was flashing the ROMs, which you have to do the first thing, I wanted to test this thing because, you know, I've kept it for many years boxed and I haven't touched it. I don't even know if it works or if you just gotta know. It's that one thing, I'm only happy when I've turned on for the first time, at least one turn on, and everything works. That's when I'm satisfied. So this has been in the back of my mind for a little while, wondering, I hope that works, I hope that works. Anyway, so last night when I was flashing the ROM, right, 3 ROMs you have to flash. The kernel ROM, the kernel C64 ROM, the basic ROM, and the character set ROM. So those you have to flash into it, and then once you've done that, you're ready to go. So I was doing that, and Rich was just like, don't tell me this is the first time you've used your Ultimate 64. I said, this is the first time I've unboxed the thing. I've taken the tape off the box now after like 3-4 years. And it was just shaking his head at that. But at the same time, I do this a lot, right? It is bad, I shouldn't do it a lot, but even if it's something I'm really excited about, I have to get everything right, you know, the environment, the setup and everything right, to kind of like, you know, share my first moment with it with you lot. You know, I have to do that. At the same time, all that you see on my channel and on my website and all that I do online is only like a small part of my life, you know. My life is like beyond this, and it can get really complicated. So, you know, other things take higher priority than this part of it. So this part of it is the escapism part of my life that I share with you all, and yeah, the basking in nostalgia, which I enjoy doing with you all. So yeah, that's why things get delayed a little bit. Because, and this is why I always say I don't have a shortage of ideas for videos. Yeah, because I have so many things trying to come to the front and become first in the queue, you know. So it's the amount of stuff that goes on around it that kind of like holds me back a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna be here a while. Gonna be here a while, doing projects, making videos, things that I've been, you know, for a long time ago trying to get to the front. Now I have more to do on this. I have to install the SID chips. I have to sort out the audio and things like this. So, and a few other things. But I want to leave that in a separate video because this video is already about building it, and you know, I don't want it to get too long. So next week, I'm gonna be doing all that with you. So until then, I will say adios. So thanks so much for your likes, your shares. Do leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my other videos and do subscribe for more. Also, I do more than create videos, so for more content, don't forget to check out my website as it contains all what I do. I update my blog fairly regularly, by the way. I'm very happy with how I've designed my website and wish to thank Rich Garbett for all the hard work and effort he's put into making it all work. Also, a big thank you goes to my top tier patrons: Rich Garbett, Axel Dominator, Electronskip UK, Aaron Metcalf, Corey Ostman, Mark Bossack, Starlight Minako, Chris Sablensky, and Veronica Explains. No matter what the Patreon tier, each of you who choose to support me genuinely out of the goodness of your heart deserves appreciation. Hence, the least I can do to show my thanks is list your names in my video, regardless of tier. Thank you again to all of you who genuinely support me. I'm really touched by it. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Until next time, adios.